Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Ron's Anime Review 22. I am the host of Grand Station 6 Path, and here I talk about weekly seasonal anime. And today is Tower of God. Man, this episode was fire. And you know what? Oh, it's just, So right off the bat, everybody's talking about what happened in the last episode. This smack that. Rock's asking, everybody's asking what happened to the guy, weird name, Al Rock. I think that's how you pronounce it. And everybody's like, oh, he must have left. They're like, man, he just disappeared. Rock could tell me, like, look, man, he vanished. I seen it. And he asks Androsi, he's like, hey, do you know anything about the guy? Like, I was partners, blah, blah, y'all was cool, like, y'all. She's like, no, I met him and Rachel at the same time. He's like, man, that's weird. As soon as she gets stabbed, he disappears. You know, that's why I was saying in my last, video that I think they were like linked, because that's weird. That's just weird. So we then get to see Combs behind the scene plan and why he did what he did. Now, Coon always look out for his friends, right? A lot of people say, oh, Coon's messed up. Look, the tower messed up, okay? Coon is not messed up. Compared to everybody else, Coon is a fucking saint. And we get to see the behind the scene plans, and we get to see him talk to Ryan, which is the girl with the eye patch on her eye, and she said, I'm dropping out, which I don't know why she dropped out. And we get to find out that only 2 wave controllers can pass. Now, here's the thing that the webtoon goes into, but because I'll look at some of the reviews on some of the like further chapters on the webtoons, but the anime didn't explain that. When you fail, you get you don't get another chance. Like, that's it. Like, it is raw. Only a certain amount of people can pass to go up the levels of floors. And that's why it is super rough, dude. Like, it gets way, way harder. Like, and further up, right? Up the tower. Bam, just a little small spoiler, but bam, it took Bam 50 years just to get to I think floor 30 or 50, somewhere around there. If I'm not mistaken, I think he's not super far up. And that's a long time, but you gotta remember they don't age like normal people because of Shinsui. But that's why it takes a while for somebody to climb the tower, because you gotta train and try to pass the test. And it can take you a long time. Now, we then find out Rachel can't walk because of what happened. And Rock and right before that, everybody was talking about Small Rock because he was adorable and it was so funny. And we see what happens because he knocks on the door of Coon, and he's like what? Like the expression on Coon's face. And he's like, don't go bothering on him because, Bam's gonna leave. And he tells us what happened. And he walks up to the administrator, not the administrator, but the floor official. And basically just walks, because Rock's super big and the floor official is short. He's a shorty. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there, shorty. And the floor official just looks at him and then basically use an advanced sensually move, basically kind of like what Bam did, but on a way higher scale. And he makes him smaller, and he walks around him and say, oh, my bad, I didn't see you there, shorty, and walks off. Hilarious, dude. Rock is so fucking retarded. He gives you that comedy that's not forced, like like regular shonen where the main protagonist is retarded, like Luffy and Naruto and Goku. It gives you kind of a different kind of comedy, and it kind of you kind of need it because this shit's dark, so it kind of lights up the mood. Because right after that bomb knocks on the door and basically shocks both of them and says that he is still climbing the tower and he's gonna climb the tower with Rachel and get her up to the top of the tower. And it was like, damn, he ain't giving up. So they was shocked that he actually was still gonna climb. They thought he was gonna be like, quit, I got Rachel, I'm good. And everybody's there at Host's funeral, and Bam kind of organized it so everybody can pay their respects. So usually they just died, nobody even give a shit. We get to see Quan, and we get to see Shibisu and the rest of the gang all gather around, and we get to see Rachel come, and even though she got stabbed and paralyzed by the nigga, she comes and everybody pays their respects. So it was nice to see, because it's sad to see that he went out like that. Like, I understand if he got killed, but they ain't killing yourself. I mean, come on. So then we get to see Bam and Rachel talk, and this scene was so emotional, right? Because Rachel basically just tells him, like, look, I left you, I abandoned you, you were weak, you were this piece of garbage. And she's like, it's okay if you leave me. Like, I get it. Just go. Just leave me here just like I left you. Bam, being who he is, was like, nah, you the one that gave me the light. And I can never abandon you, in so many words. You took me out of the darkness to the light, and basically I want to get you to where you want to go, which is insane. So then we get to, they have the little party they have. Ring ends up leaving after everybody's drinking and stuff, and Ring's in up when she drops out. She basically said, look, I realized my dream, I tried, and that's it. And again, you only get one try, that's it. After that, you teleport back to where you was. And basically, look, if you don't climb up the tower, you're not in the inner tower, you're like on the outer tower, you're just like trash. You peasants, you live like stealing, basically. You live like fodder. So you're not in one of the 10 great families too, especially. So so we then get to see this juicy scene, finally something good. So we get to see you and I literally have to look at my notes. His name is so long. Lobo Byron. He's a royal enforcer number 67. And I'm gonna tell you at the end of my video, if y'all watch it all the way to the end, I'm gonna explain a lot of this context that they left out on this episode that will literally have you confused. And he was like, hey, who you talking to? And he's like, oh, what's up? You know what I'm saying? And he was basically on the phone because his boss wants him to get back the Green April and the Black March. And he wants them to kill, they want them to kill Anak. And he's like, oh man, I always wanted to fight you. And we see them kind of go at it. And they use the kind of guardian beast to kind of guardian beast to fight. They didn't like do hand to hand, but they use those to kind of fight. And his just come out and just literally kills his in one shot. He said, look, I don't want to fight one of Zaha's royal enforcers. He said, that's not my intention. He said, I want to help you. He said, look, I'm in charge of this floor and I can determine what basically goes on here. And he's like, what's this guy's angle, right? And it seems like he just wants chaos kind of a thing. I don't think he's on anybody's side but his own. He's the type of guy like the Joker. He just want to see some shit pop off. That's the kind of person he is. And we see like the auditorium where everybody's at, where they're giving out the pass and fail grades. Basically all our main characters pass. And we find out that since Rachel can't walk anymore, that she couldn't pass. And before all that, right, before all of that, one of the guys, like, hey, I couldn't pass. Why I couldn't pass? Why I couldn't pass? That's bullshit. That's bullshit. He's like, okay, you think you should pass? He's like, yeah. And what he did to him was just flat out wrong. But I get it, because if you don't even look at the reviews of the webtoons, you don't know how hard it gets on upper floors. It is like you would die just like that. Snap finger, you did ghost. And they want to save people from that. And they try to weed out the weaklings. So he said, if you can stand my attacks for, I think it was like a minute, then you can pass. Boy was begging for his life, begging to stop. And then he asked the other green coward guy, I fucking hate spineless bastard. He's like, oh, do you think you know you got any objectives? He's like, no. Your rule is just. And you just see how raw he is. And I'm gonna get into where he got that test from. And then Coon, being the G he is, was just like, all right, if Rachel can't pass, let me take the administrative test. And he found out that from a Lero about the administrative test, but how he covered it up. He's like, how you find out about that, the administrative test? And when he looked, he kind of glanced, at Lero, and it was like, oh, I'm from one of the 10 great families, so, you figure it out. And he's like, unfortunately, only irregulars can take the administration test, so you can't take it. And everybody was shocked, and he's like, let me take it. And this was bam. And he was like, let me take it then. I'm an irregular. Everybody was just shocked, like flabbergasted. Like, you should have, like, their faces at that time was like dumbstruck. And a lot of them didn't even know what exactly an irregular is. And Lero kind of explains, he's like, yeah, irregular kind of brings calamity and change to the tower. And we see Bam goes off, and he goes off and meets the administrator. And then the administrators is basically those monsters that, like a whale and a shark fusing. I don't know what you call those things. They're ugly. And those are administrators, and they're basically like they rule over the floor, and they've been there since the tower began. Now, if you made it all the way to the end, I can explain a lot of stuff. So let's start off with irregular. An irregular is a person that forces their way in through the tower. The tower basically chooses people that lives in the tower to climb. So you have to abide by its rules because it chose you. Make sense? Irregulars force their way in so they don't have to, go with the flow, in layman's term. The reason why they fear irregular is because, for one, Zahad, the king, is an irregular. That's not a huge spoiler. You can just look that up anywhere. All the 10 great families the heads are irregulars too. I'm not gonna get into deep lore and stuff like that because this video will be probably an hour. But the main 2 reasons why Zahad doesn't want, one of them I cannot tell you because it will literally just probably ruin it for you. But the 2 reasons is, one, because what happened on floor 47, somewhere around there, and they call it the floor of death because one of the irregulars got over like 1,000 different sunsweep. Remember the guy was explaining, like, the more sunsweep you have, then the better you are because you can block and attack at the same time. And he was explaining that in, I think, a previous episode. That's super important. This guy has basically like a lot of them. Let's just go on there. I can't remember off the top of my head. And he has a lot of, basically turns them into red spears. And he literally killed everything on this floor that is literally called the red floor of death. Zaha erased the incident entirely. Now, I re-looked it up, so I can't really go in depth. The guy's name was like start with an E. I'm not trying to really explore it too deeply because I don't want to ruin it for you guys. But back then, another part that gives y'all some more context when, remember his name. Hold on, let me get it. Here we go. When you and Lopo Byron was talking, rankers also have ranks, okay? Rankers are people that basically climb the top of the tower. You already know that, to the 134th floor. Even though that's not the very top, but that's where Zaha is. And when you climb all the way up there, he promotes you to ranker. That ain't shit, right? That's just, hooray, you climbed the tower. And so what? There's rankers there, but then it's like higher rankers, and then there's like the top 1% high rankers. And they literally, the top 1% are the people that rule the floors. They're the people that, remember when Kwan and them said, man, if you get wind of this, we gonna be dead. That's them. They give, when you get to the 100th floor and you can pass a certain test, then you can rule over a certain floor, but you have to pass a certain test. Other than that, you got to climb up the tower and then like work your way up from there. Not everybody can pass that test. And the rankers, the top 100, it's like they are strong. Like they call them the god among gods because their power is unrealistic. Like you think it gets insane, dude. But with Rachel, right? With Rachel, I know y'all, a lot of people hate her, but y'all are justified. She's a cold-hearted bitch. I'm telling you what. I had to know more. And man, she is a piece of shit. I like her character because her character development is so different from the typical shonen girl that does fucking nothing and really gets kind of strong and don't do shit, always gotta get saved. So I kind of like her character because it's so different, and to portray that kind of main girl in an anime as a piece of shit is really different. You don't see that shit at all. So I do like that, but man, she is a cold ass bitch. Like she is a piece of work. I would tell y'all, but I don't want to ruin the anime for y'all, but trust me, she is a piece of work. But if y'all want to hear me talk more, because I know I talk a lot, all y'all that made it to the end of the video, thank you. But here's the video talking about that. I know I'm gonna see y'all over there and watch that episode 9, right? And then y'all gonna hit that subscribe button. I just know it. I got faith in y'all. Because guess what? The anime community rules. And I'm putting this in this video because this is the one I put a lot of work in, is I do have a video talking about the Black Lives Matter, and it's on my channel. And if you want to go watch that and hear me and my thoughts about it, go on my channel and it should be up. Thank you so much. Bye.